Hey guys, it's Ari. How's it going? Today, I know I haven't talked to you guys in quite some time, and that's exactly why I'm making a video. I'm so excited. Fresh out of work, literally hair just came down, looking like a mess. And just super excited to talk to you guys. A lot's been going on and I've been a little busy, but I am here. We are good to go. I sat down and recorded a video for you guys, and it was a continuation video of my nightmare. Basically, I talked about the sleep paralysis part, and with that, my paranormal experiences, because the sleep paralysis and paranormal experiences actually go hand in hand. But oddly, in the video, I don't remember it at all. Like, while recording, I don't remember zoning out and like not knowing what to say or anything, but I recorded the entire video, I put it on my computer, and then I went to go edit it, and I'm going through it, and there are like just minutes of me staring at the camera and like fumbling over my words, and I just like look so lost, and it's really weird that I like don't remember it. So I was gonna re-record it, and I decided against it because I kind of take that as a bad sign. That will be coming for you guys. I just don't know when or where or how. I want to be able to tell it to you guys like with the most detail and like 100% like here with you guys, and it was just really weird like the way I got affected while telling the story. So since that didn't work out, I decided I was going to tell you guys basically my experience with long distance relationships, just because it's always something that people in real life would always talk to me about, or people that weren't even really my friend and like didn't really talk to me about it like when I was in the relationship or anything, like would come up to me and be like, hey, like I really like this guy or this girl, but they're so far away. And they would ask me, like, what did you do? Like, how did you do it? All that type of stuff. So I was like, okay, like, let's talk today. I'm in a talkative mood. So I just was like, yeah, we're going to talk about what it was like for me being in a long distance relationship, kind of like things you can expect, things that make it easier, that type of thing. Something was like in front of me because my camera did not focus. That was weird. And like, I swear when I talk about the sleep paralysis and the paranormal experiences that I'm hearing things that aren't there and stuff, and I just... Anyways, now that I'm all jumbled, my first like super serious relationship was actually a long distance relationship. I met my boyfriend. We're gonna name him Switch. Because I literally couldn't think of anything and zoned out for like 30 seconds and looked over and saw my Switch. So we're gonna name him Switch. I met Switch while we were in a summer camp together. I live in Pennsylvania, and the summer camp was in Maryland. So you go there for like a week, you stay the whole time and all that type of stuff. There's this thing called free time where you could like go to these different shops and do arts and crafts. You can go to the pool and swim and all types of different things. You play dodgeball. There was all types of activities set up. But we decided like every day, without really like talking about it, like we would both literally just meet at this like creek that kids will play in and sit by a tree, and we spit sunflower seeds like the entire time, just talking about ourselves, like spitting sunflower seeds. And it was literally like every day at free time, that is what we did to no fail. Like neither of us were even like, hey, like, do you want to go swimming or anything like that? Like, we just talked to each other the entire time. So we got pretty close, and when I went home, you know, I got his number from him. Eventually, I came out saying to him, like, hey, like, I really like you. And at the time, I kind of was figuring he lived in Maryland, since he went to the summer camp in Maryland, or at least somewhere close to Maryland. But he actually lived in Massachusetts, so that's quite a bit of a dip compared to what I was already thinking. Anyway, like, I still really, really liked him. He really, really liked me, and we wanted to, like, date. Like, we wanted to be boyfriend and girlfriend, so... And, you know, the texting was still constant. Even though he was in school, he would call me every single night. Doesn't matter if he was like doing his homework or what. Like, even if I would fall asleep, like, we were just always on the phones. If you go in a long distance relationship, Skype and like if you use iPhones, FaceTime, like all of that, that's gonna be like your best friend, because that is what we did like all weekend. Unless, like, you know, if he had, like, a sport event, like, of course he would go there, but, like, at night when we would just be doing nothing, or, like, in the middle of the day, or, like, whenever he was done with whatever, or if I wasn't working, like, we were literally always on Skype. Like, our Skype calls would go till the morning. Like, I would wake up and he would be asleep on Skype, and I'd be like, oh, like, how cute, like, oh my gosh. Met back up. The first time that we met back up, he actually took a train, and then we went and picked him up, and he stayed at my house, basically for, like, the weekend-ish. that was actually super cool. It was actually, like, when I started dating him, did I think we were gonna meet? Yeah. Did I think it was gonna be, like, a month into us dating? No. The way that it happened is, his dad actually lived in Maryland, and his dad and his mom were divorced, and she lived in Massachusetts, and he stayed with her most of the time. So whenever he would go to his dad's house, I would go visit him down at his dad's house, basically, because that's, like, where I was expecting him to be, and it's not a long drive from where I am in Pennsylvania to just kind of go down to Maryland and the Baltimore or Annapolis or anything like that type of area. It's, like, 2 or 3 hours. Whenever he would go there, I would go down there to visit him, hang out. We would go walk around at, like, stores, or we'd stay at the house and play video games, or, like, watch anime or watch TV. Very regular, like, boyfriend and girlfriend stuff. Things went really, really well for, like, the first year and a half. Like, we were always on the phone, always calling at night, always on Skype, that type of thing. As we got older, always right ahead of me. So as we continued high school, like, every year he would call me less and less, even though I was already, like, on the phone with him, just not speaking, like, being okay with him not paying attention to me, like, being okay with him just doing his homework and, like, just me being in the presence, you know what I mean, like, on the phone. He didn't call me as much, and he did sports and stuff, and it would irritate me when, like, he would go to the sport and then text me, like, 2 hours later and be like, sorry, I had basketball, or whatever, instead of saying, like, sorry, I had basketball, I'll text you, we're done at whatever, whatever, whatever. So these things started to irritate me a little bit. I'd still be able to talk to him on the weekends, like, we would still FaceTime or Skype or whatever. It just wasn't the same, though. Like, we let that go. It started to get really, really bad near the end of high school. We dated for, like, over 3 years, something like that, just for time reference. But, like, at the end of high school, he was not calling me, like, at all, and we were FaceTiming, like, maybe on the weekends. Like, it was very iffy, and he was always just telling me, like, oh yeah, I'm just watching Netflix, or I'm walking my dog, or, you know, just very regular things that were very, very regular for Switch, like, just really super, like, normal. What happened at the end of our relationship, and the reason I also kind of wanted to make this video was to kind of, like a little bit of advice, because it's... Let me just continue, and maybe you'll understand the point without me, like, naming the point, because I kind of can't put my finger on it. At the end of high school, like, we weren't calling, and I was barely getting any Skype calls, and I was arguing with him all the time, like, hey, like, I want you to just text me back, or, like, I just want you to let me know if you're gonna be gone for 3 hours instead of me guessing. I mean, during this time, the Boston Marathon happened, and he, like, was there, and I'm, like, in Pennsylvania, like, watching the TVs as it's, like, Boston Marathon bombing, like, ugh, and I'm sitting here, like, my boyfriend's not texting me back. And just, like, besides wanting to know, like, where you're at and, like, why you haven't texted me for 3 hours, like, I also had that on my chest at all times after that occurrence happened. I'm like, oh my god, like, every time, like, he wouldn't text me for a couple hours, that's the first thing I'm thinking of, like, something else happened, like, this is crazy, like, and I'd be like, hey, like, you need to call me, like, I haven't heard your voice, I haven't FaceTimed you in, like, 2 weeks, like, this is ridiculous, like, I want to talk to you, like this. Argue with him, it's like, he would call me maybe the next day and the day after that, or, like, the next weekend, he'd be like, yeah, we're definitely gonna Skype on Saturday, like, we'll plan for it, we can, like, watch a movie together. Here's where my little, like, PSA, like, advice thing goes. If you have to ask a guy to care for you or to pay attention for you, like, just go. Like, please just run. Don't be stupid like me, because this started and this continued and it got worse, and I was the dumb bitch that was just messaging him like, hey, like, you, like, I miss you, like, why aren't you paying attention to me, like, and then getting in arguments, like, you only ever text me back right away when I start arguing with you, or instantly disappear and show up after saying, like, I had this, I had that. It made me so angry every time I would get into an argument with him, and that's when he would start texting me back faster. If you have to, so, in summary, if you have to, a guy or a girl, whoever, whichever, whatever combination, if you have to tell them how to treat you, if you have to, like, start reminding them, like, hey, like, you haven't called me, just leave. Because if they want to, they will. The biggest thing I learned in my new relationship, my boyfriend wants to call me, he just calls me. Like, he doesn't ask, and I don't ever feel the need to ask him to call me because we're always together, but, you know, when we weren't living together, he'd always want to call me, even though he'd just see me that day, or he'd always try to video chat me, even though, like, I just left his house, like, an hour ago. Don't ever ask somebody to pay attention to you, and just leave, because you're better than that, okay? Remember this throughout the rest of the story. You're better than that. Don't do that. You are above it, okay? So basically in the end, like, my dumb bitch ass learned that I was a dumb bitch ass, because this whole like year and a half goes by where like relationship decline. I'm not getting these calls, I'm not getting these texts, like we're barely communicating. Like every time I text him, it takes like 20 minutes for him to text me back, and then I'm like right away, like 3 seconds later, boom, into his inbox. The conversations were just dry. Like I remember always arguing with him. Like I feel like we used to actually talk about things, like talk about the earth, like talk about our views, like talk about this, that, the third, like all these wonderful conversations that we were having like when we first met. Now it's just like, what are you doing? And he'd be like, oh, I'm watching Netflix. What are you doing? And I'd be like, oh, I'm playing this game, and the art and this, that, the third, or whatever. And I'll start like going off about something, and then minutes later from him, and he's like, oh yeah, like I walk the dog, but then he's also walking the dog later, which is why he can't call me. And I'm like, During all of this, like we've met back up like several times. Like I've gone to his dad's house several times. I've gone to his mom's house. He went to a private school, so I went to his junior and senior prom, so it's not like my presence wasn't known or anything. Like it wasn't super sketchy at all either. Like it wasn't screaming to me like, hi, like there's somebody else there. Like, it was just very regular, because he was already a slow texter in general. You rationalize so many different things when you're trying not to like look right into the truth, you know what I mean? In the end, the last time that I went and saw him, we were at his dad's house and we were watching YouTube videos, and he had a Mac laptop, and he also uses an iPhone. I don't use iPhone. I use Google Pixel all the way. He had left the room to go greet neighbors that had come over to his dad's house, and YouTube at the time, so he was like, oh, like I'll be right back, and I just kept watching YouTube, like minding my business, watching YouTube. Camera, please focus. Please. So I'm watching YouTube, and he starts getting text messages from one of the girls that I actually had met the times that I went up there and went to prom, and she was really, really nice to me. And I've been texting him like the entire time that I've been there, and I just didn't care. Like the first time he texted her, he just didn't text her back, and I was like, okay. So like a couple hours later that day, she texted him again, and I legitimately was like, hey, like she might need you. Like I didn't care, and that's because I'm stupid, I guess. When he started getting texts on his Mac, I guess, I don't know how the settings work for this, because like I said, I don't use an iPhone, but the messages with the name were scrolling like across the screen. They said like some things that just, I don't even remember exactly what those ones said. She said something, made me look at the screen, like, and then she texted again saying like, I know you're gonna answer me, like she was owed a reply. And so I clicked it. At this point, I wasn't snooping. At this point, like, it came to me. Like, it was kind of like, here, like, this is what you're looking for, right here, like, right up here on the screen. I know you're watching YouTube, but hi, look at this. I clicked it, and I go to their conversation. He went up to say hi to the neighbors, and he was up there longer than I had anticipated. It's been, like, 10 minutes. I've literally gone through these messages where he's telling her, like, oh, yeah, no, like, you're so pretty, and, like, she's talking about, oh, I'm coming over, what movies should I bring, like, what pizza should I bring, not saying that anybody else was coming over, like, it was just them, and she's like, they're watching movies and eating pizza together. Like, I didn't know this, because every time I'm talking to him, it's kind of just like, oh, I'm watching Netflix, and had he, like, said something to me, would it have been different? I'm not sure. But, like, they would do that, and then like he's way into like airsoft. They would go airsofting together, and like I would see messages between them, and she'd be like, oh, like you owe me some snacks, like are you buying me snacks today? And he would say like, yeah, and then she'd be like, that's yes, princess, to you. And I'm sitting here like, okay, ain't nobody else's name, like where is she? Like let's go to Massachusetts then, like fine, like let's go. So he comes back downstairs, and I'm like crying but very angry, and I'm just like what am I supposed to do? Like, so I'm just like, he just looks at me, and I don't know what I must have looked at at that moment, but like fear all over his face, right? I'm like, this is really fucked up. Like, you're always lying to me, you're always saying you're just watching Netflix, but you're clearly like going airsofting with her all week, you're clearly like hanging out with her like in private, saying anything to me, like why are you lying to me? Like, I don't understand, like everything I've been telling you, or everywhere I've gone and I've said to you like, hey, like I'm going here with this person, and this person like was real, was genuine, and you lying to me. And he was kind of just like, I don't mean to lie to you, like I just knew you wouldn't like it if I was hanging out with her. And I was like, I mean, I wouldn't mind like if you had been honest with me, because if you had the balls and had been honest with me and said like, hi, like, I'm going to hang out with Alex, like, why would I worry if you were telling me the truth? You know what I mean? If you were telling me the truth, like, why would I worry? So again, I'm like a complete dumb bitch apparently, because at this point I basically just wrote this like paragraph long rose. I wrote it as if I was him, and I was kind of like, here you go, press the send button, like, if you want to stay with me, like, press the send button, like, you're not lying to me anymore, you will be calling me again, like. And he was like, yes, I'm gonna call you, like, it's fun, like, I don't want to lose you, like, this is stupid. And like, he started crying, and so I was like, okay, like, press the send button. So he presses send, and she's like, you don't mean that, like, da-da-da. And he's like, yes, I do. You look like a piece of paper when you wear a white shirt, and your freckles look like your horse took a shit on your face, and like, da-da-da. So I went home, and he started college, and it was my senior year of high school. Basically, it was around his birthday, and you know, he did a little bit better at calling me. Of course, it's college now, so his homework's harder. So, like, he would at least call me on the weekend. I don't think he's video chatted me once since he went to college, which was still making me upset. But, you know, we were trying to work on everything. I was trying to get my text back faster, you know what I mean? Like, I just wanted communication and, like, respect and like to not be lied to anymore. And you know, I had already put in like years into this guy. I loved him, like, you know, it was his birthday, and I was like, are you at least gonna call me on your birthday? Like, it's really, really messed up if you don't. Like, he ended up not calling me on his birthday. Like, he wasn't doing anything, and he's bummed out because he's like not doing anything. He's just in his room, he's like watching a movie. Then he fucked up because he called me the next day telling me about how all these people were over, and there were girls over, and they were playing GameCube all night last night, and they were doing this at the third. And I'm like, you just fucking like, last night you were literally in my inbox telling me like you didn't do anything, like you were bummed out because you weren't doing anything for your birthday. Like, all of a sudden all these people are here. Like, remember what I said about lying to me? Like, why are you lying to me? Our final argument like that. Another thing, don't ignore red flags. Please don't fucking ignore red flags. I don't care how much you love them, because I fucking know, like, I understand, and I don't care how much you know, how much time you've spent, because trust me, time don't mean anything when you meet somebody who actually treats you right. Let me tell you firsthand, I know that. Oh, my stomach's growling. It had to have been like the next day or a day later, and when I got out of school is the time that he's normally done with his last class, and I texted him like, hey, like, how's your day going? I didn't get a text back. I got out of school at like 2:15 p.m. I got a text back at like 6 p.m. and I said, I'm fucking done we're done. And he's like, you don't mean that? And I'm like, yeah, I do. Like, can't keep doing this. Like, it's so stressful. I don't want to argue with you. I can't keep arguing with you. Like, it's just over. That was just it. Like, it was just over. You know what I mean? My thing on long distance relationships, if you're with the right person, like, literally, of course, long distance is supposed to be temporary. You're gonna need to meet and be together at some point and, you know, move in with each other. If the both of you aren't willing to either, like, find a happy medium or move to one or the other, just don't start, because, like, you know, that's the end. It can get really, really rough, like, not seeing each other for months, but of course, like, Skype and FaceTime are, like, everything. As well as, like, being a gamer, we would play video games together sometimes, and that'll totally help. It's definitely worth it. If you're with the right person, it's definitely worth it. Or if you're interested in the right person, it's definitely worth it. But please, please, please protect yourself. Don't look over the red flag. Give too many chances, and be as honest as possible, and, you know, pray that the person you're with is being honest with you, because being able to be lied to so easily, you know what I mean? Like, I did not think any of that was happening, and maybe I was just naive, but kind of, it fit his character. Like, it fit who he was from the beginning. Like, the slower text, the really homebody, like, no, I'm just watching Netflix. Like, all of it really added up. And I guess the scariest part is you can be, like, whoever you want to be from a distance, I guess. Which, I guess that goes for catfish and personalities. But, like, you can be whoever you want to be, so it's not hard to be lied to. And I'm not saying, like, everybody on the other side is lying, because that's not true, because, like, hi. Yeah, guys, I don't know why I kind of wanted to tell that story today, but I did. I feel a lot better. It gave me so many new anxieties, it gave me so many new insecurities, it gave me so many, like, realizations, and, I hope you guys can, like, learn from me. And, you know, I just wanted to upload. All my other video ideas, like, are requiring a lot of money for me to do. just because like those are the things that I want to do. But with saving for vacation and stuff, like I've just been like, all right, like let's just tell a bunch of stories, like let's talk about life, like let's talk about these types of things, because that's kind of what I like to do. Like I kind of just like to share stories and share opinions, and of course there's like different formats and ways to do that, but I don't know, and I hope you guys can learn from it. So yeah, I am going on vacation very soon, so there's gonna be some vacation stuff, and I have plans to do something pretty funny on vacation. I hope you guys will like it. Make sure to hit the subscribe button so that you make sure to hit the subscribe button so that you guys know when I upload, and you can come hang out with me at any time. Leave a like on this video if you guys want to talk to me again sometime. Leave some comments down below and we can talk about them. All right, see ya.